Hey, welcome. Thank you for visiting the site. Today we are going to create a navbar in using React that render content dynamically depending on what item you click on the navbar. So this is what we are going to create. So when you click pricing, it display a different content. You click about, it display a different item. You click contact, it display something else. You create site title, it display something different. So watch out. This is what we are going to create in the next few minutes. So let's get started. We start by creating our navbar component. So our navbar component, so in our source folder, you create a new file, and this new file we are going to call it navbar.js, and then we are going to use a shortcut to create an arrow function. So we create use the shortcut for creating our functions. Here we have our function here. We are going to change this tag here to nav, and then we are going to give it a class name. We are going to name it so that we can use it to do some styling on this one, and so that we use it to do some styling on this one, and we can call it nav, and we cross this, the nav. So now we have an arrow function here that we are exporting as the default navbar here. We have created the component navbar as the component here. So in this component, we are going to create our menu item. We are going to, I like to use an ordered list here. So I'm going to create an ordered list here. Then inside the list, we are going to create the list item. And then in the list item, you are going to have anchor tag, and in this anchor tag, we are going to have link. Close this. So here we are going to have the list item. We'll have pricing. Then we can duplicate this list item to have another list item. And this one we can call it, so this one is pricing. And this one we can call it about. We are creating very simple menu item. So about, and then we can have another link here, another anchor here. We have it here, which will have outside the ordered list, and this one we are going to have the home, and we call it home here, home, and we have home here. We can now import this in our application, so that instead of rendering this static here, we can render our navigation menu. So we are going to import our navigation menu here. So we import navbar, and then we render that here. So we are going to render that here. So we render navbar there, and we save that. And see what we wrote here. So we have our item here. We have home. We have our item here as we read them. here. So next we are going to apply some styling on this one. We are going to apply some styling. So we in this we are going to use this file app.css to do some styling. And we are going, the first thing that we are going to do, we have already named our, let's rename this, let's name this, give this a name, and we call this class name, call this class name equals site title. Let's now do our styling to our menu lists, but before we do that, let's add one link element here, and we call this one contact. Contact. This one also we can name this one as site title, but you can call it anything. It should have the title of our page. So we can save that, and we see changes here before we start working on our styling. Let's go to our CSS file. Right now it's empty, so we start by applying some box sizing. Some box sizing. So box sizing, and this one we give it border box. Then we move next to body. And this one we give it to a margin get 0. Then we go to site title, site title, site title, and here site title we are just giving it a font size of 2 rem to make it a bigger. And then we go to our navbar, our nav, we give it a name as nav, and here we give it a background color of 3. Then we move to the font color. So color, we can call this one white. Then we can give it display. Let's have it as flex. Then we have content, justify content, and we have space between, and then align item, align items, can have this one as center. Then we can have the gap between, we can have this one as 2 to rem, and then we can give it a padding of 0. Let's save that and see how it behaves on our styling on our menu item. Let's see how it behaves on our menu item. As it loads on that, you can see now we have our title background have changed and it has changed. The menu item has changed. We can go to the nav uh, uh, an ordered list, and this one here we can give it a restyle of none. We don't need our restyle, so that one will remove those that dot bit before the wrist. Then display, we have it, the display we can have it as flex. Then margin here, price some margin here, and margin here will have 0 margin. Then we have the gap. We can apply a gap of 1 rem. Then padding of 0. Then we can go to the next. Then we can go to the list item. List item is now list item. So, and this one color, we can have color or restyle. Let's start with the restyle. Wrist style, we have none, so that we remove have restyle is none. Then we go to anchor item, the anchor item, and in this one we can have color for the anchor item. Can have this one as in inherit. So we have already defined the color of the anchor. Then text decoration, we can this remove the underlining. We can put none to remove the underlining. Then we have height. We can have height. We can have it as 100% so that it is fit under that navbar box, 100%. And then we can have the display as flex, then padding align items or center alignment. We align the item center, and then padding, we can have padding of 0.25 rem. Then next we can go to the hover. when you hover mouse on that, so we can have nav ring hover. Hover, what we do, we have hover, hover. This is should be RI hover, and this one we can define how we want this one. We can change background on hover, background, background color to be, can have background color to be, then background color, that's in the last tree. Next we got to active, item active. So active, active, active. Here we want it to be, to have a background color of background of 555, and we can save on this. We can save on this, and then we see how it changes our menu item. We save on this, can load this, so it is compiling. You can see it is compiling our menu item. Then it's going to reload this so that we can have it the way, we can format it the way we want. It's taking some time to reload that. Let's have it reload. So now the next thing that we are going to do, now that we have styled our menu item the way we want, we are going to create now these components that we have created in our navbar here. We are going to create them as component here. We have 4 components that we need to create, so we under the source folder we can create a folder inside it. So we can create a folder here, and we call this folder components, or you can call it pages, the way you want. Components, let's call it components. And inside the components we create these 3 items or 3 components. The first one that we are going to create is home, home.js, and this one we are going to create our function using the shortcut, which is RFCE for the shortcut. RFCE, and we select the R function, and here we are just going to render a simple HTML tag, which is h1. This one we call it just home page. so that when we change the content, you know that it has changed. And we save that. Then we go to components again, and we create another file. We call this one pricing.js, and then again we create another function, and this one we are going to render again a simple HTML tag h1. Again we call this one pricing, very simple. We save on that. We save on that. The next component we create is contact. Before we create content, let's create about.js, and for this one we have RSE. No, to that RFCE. Our function again, we render a simple HTML tag which is h1, and this one we call it about. Save on that, and lastly our final component here is contact.js, and we create function here, and this function here we have a simple HTML tag which is h1, and this one we say it's contact. You save that. Now we have our components here. You can see our navbar is okay, it's responding well, even the background color, but we need to change something here so that we have this active. When you hover, should be full of this. So we go to our CSS file, which is up .css, and we change this. Let me show you what we change. We change a line, and this one we can change this one to stretch, align items to stretch so that we have it when you hover it fit on that. Let's see. You see now, this is what I'm talking about. Then next now we need to have this one go back now to our app. We need to import all these components here so that now we can render this item dynamically. When we click on this, it loads the pricing. We click about, it loads the about. We click contact, it load. How are we going to do that? So the first thing that we can do, we can console log, and here we can console window dot location, window dot location. Then we can, after we do that, we can now inspect this page. We can inspect this page. We can inspect our app here. We can inspect this. Once you inspect this page, you'll be able to see that here we have a path name on the console. We have a path name, so we have this path depending on the page that has been displayed. So if you change the page that you have read, you can see the path is changing. So we can be able to switch this statement. Can be able to use a switch statement here. We can be able to use a switch statement here. Here we have the window. Instead of this one, we can use switch statement here. Switch here. Can use switch here. Here we have windows.pathname.location.path using the switch statement, the path name, we can render these components that we've just created, such that when you click the link, the link here, an item is rendered here, or the component is rendered. So using this switch statement, we can use switch statement here. Let's move this comment here that we had added, and then we have case here. Case here when it is home. Here we can have a break, can render something and then we break. Then case case when it is pricing, we break this, and then case when we have about, we break this, then case contact case stock contact here. Then we can have this one here. Before this switch statement, we can have a variable red component like that without initializing it, and then we have here component is equals to we can have component is equals home, then equals home, then we can here and then here This is contact. This is about, and then this is pricing, and then here home. This is components. So this components, component, component like that. That's component like that. Then for us to be able to render this component dynamically here, we need to import all these components here. So we import uh, home, from from dot components, and then I import pricing, pricing from dot so this is components, then home here, then components here, components, then pricing, then import uh, about from component, then above, then finally we import contact contact from components, then contact. Then once we import that, then we can render this component here. Can render them here as component. Then we save on that. We build that. Once we build on that, it is compiling. So we'll be able to reload our page once it has compiled. We are building our component, we are building our app. We have an error. about. We have a component about on right now. Yes, component about. It says it on the imports. We fix on that component about. About, what do we call that component about? Is there? Let's try to fix that error. Module not found in the components. Say module not found. Component about. So let's move these components. We move this component here. About is different. So we move this one here. Yes, move that so that when we compile that, to be able to compile, fix the issue we had created. Now we have it here. You can see now. Click on that. We click home. It is rendering home page. You click about. It's rendering about. You click on contact, and the page that is rendered here is contact. Check on that content. Yes, thank you so much. About contact about then. So you can see that now our app is rendering our component depending on what we click. So that's how you create an render application on React using all dynamically. But we'll build on this on how you can be able to use React DOM to be able to do this, and we'll be able to see what you can be able to update. But meanwhile, let me know in the comment section what you think about this new app, and let me know which other components you'd like us to create so that we can learn this together. Thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and you like this video. Cheers.